I know people want to know. Living in a camper RV is not always glamorous. I wanted to make a little video about all the things that I've learned. That definitely is not glamorous, but it's made me so much more just like, hey, whatever, like, it's human nature.
My name is Jordan, and for the last 9 years, I've been living for what many might have looked like a dream. I was a real estate broker in one of the fastest growing cities of America, but for some reason could just never quite find happiness. After being diagnosed with a rare, incurable eye disease that oftentimes leads to blindness, I decided now more than ever is a time for me to follow my true dreams, which is to see the world. So I packed up my bags, packed up my home, and bought a one-way ticket across the world. During my solo travels, I rediscovered a new meaning for life and found that there was hope for me to heal my own body. I'm so excited that you're joining me on this journey as I rediscover me and find that this diagnosis was the best thing that ever happened to me.
Good morning. Whoops, good morning. I just woke up and starting my day. I'm about to make my bed, but I wanted to make a video as my time in the RV camper situation. This chapter is coming to an end. I wanted to make a little video about all the things that I've learned since I lived in a camper RV for about 4 months, I think. So yeah, here's some things that I learned. The first thing that was very obvious that I learned that had so much to do with like life for me was that living in an RV and living in a small space really shows you how much we don't need the majority of the space that we actually normally have. Whether you live in an apartment or you live in a house, really living in an RV showed me that not only do we not need all of that space, but we also, it makes our lives more complicated when we have more space. I found that now the idea of having to clean a really large living space is overwhelming. I'm used to like it taking me about 20 minutes to clean up my space, and that's because I live in like 150 square feet. So that was one of the first things, was like, okay, I love living in a small space because there's not that much to clean, not that much maintenance. And which brings me to my next point, is because you don't have a lot of space, you can't have that much stuff either, which I really like. You guys have noticed, I've been wearing like the same clothes for the past couple of months, and that's because I don't have that much storage. I mean, I literally have up there, and that's all I have for like clothes storage, which means like I don't have tons of laundry to do. Basically when my stuff gets all the way dirty, I just do the laundry, and that's that. I don't end up with like 3 loads of laundry like I used to, because I would wait to do laundry until I had like tons of clothes to wash. So living in a small space and basically not having room for much of anything has made life so much easier. Like anytime people wanted to just gift me stuff, I'm like, no, like I literally, especially during like the holiday season, I'm like, please do not buy me anything because I don't have anywhere to put it. So it's actually made my life so much easier, and I feel so much more free. The fact that like I really don't have much of anything right now because there's just no room for it. So all my stuff is in storage, and my stuff honestly is good to stay in storage. Like I don't need any of that extra stuff. The next thing that I learned is basically being comfortable with the elements of the outside. I live or have been living in a camper that is not really designed for like long-term living. And I lived in here during the winter time. So a lot of people warned me about like trying to get through the winter time in this type of camper because it's not made for it. And yeah, they weren't wrong. So this camper too, like the heat and the AC is really like finicky. So I haven't even used the heat or the AC in this place for like the past 4 months because I don't know how to use it, and it most of the time doesn't work anyways. So I've gotten used to like living comfortably in like the outside elements. So like I have a space heater, just one, that doesn't produce a ton of heat. And if I plug in more than one space heater, it actually trips the breaker. So I've been basically just like during the winter time traveling with the space heater. So if I'm in bed, if I'm like over here working, if I'm in the bathroom, getting ready for the day, I basically bring my space heater from room to room and just keep that little area warm. And now that it's starting to get warm outside, I hate the sound of the AC in this place. It's very loud and obnoxious, and I'd rather listen to like the birds chirping. So now I just have been leaving all the windows open. You can't see, but I've been leaving like the windows open, and that's perfect for since it's getting warmer outside. But at nighttime, like last night, it actually was pretty cold. So I woke up this morning and it was freezing because all the windows are open. But as it gets like more into the day, it'll get hot in here. So just, you know, being comfortable in the heat. So that's something I've definitely learned, is just like the temperatures and stuff is not always going to be perfect. And, I feel like that's like such a good thing to learn about life, that like you're not always going to be comfortable. So that's been something really great. One of the next things that I learned is actually probably really only applies to me and other people that are raw vegan right now. But although this camper has like stove, microwave, refrigerator, I learned being raw vegan that I really don't need any of this stuff. I really just use, like, I keep all of my stuff here, and I keep like my salads and stuff there. So it's actually been so easy being raw vegan and living in this camper because I haven't had to cook, obviously. So it's just made it so much easier. So it's just like more in tune with the fact that like we can get anything that we need from this earth. Like if I were to be growing fruits and vegetables, like I would be totally fine because I don't really need to cook them. So yeah, that's been really like a cool little insight too, that now I'm like, I could really live anywhere. It doesn't even need to have a kitchen. It really just kind of needs, or it doesn't need to have a refrigerator. It'd be nice to have a refrigerator to keep stuff good longer. But yeah, I mean, all I need is just like a room and easy access to a market, and it'll be easy to function and live and eat there. The next thing that I learned about this situation is, I know people want to know that living in a camper and RV is not always glamorous. I learned what Blackwater and Greywater is. So this little thing here, this is where you empty out the water and the sewage. So this is for the gray water, which is like the shower and sink water. And then that one, that black one is for sewage. So basically, every once in a while you have to come and let out the water. Now, obviously the gray water, which is like the shower and sink water, is not that gross. Sometimes it smells like sulfur, which is not very appealing, but yeah. But the black water, That's interesting. So basically, like, my dad dug a hole back here and basically just filled the what's it called? The hose connects to this thing down here, and then we just fed it down a hole. So that was really interesting, having to do that. I basically had to do that twice since I've been here, which is not as bad as I thought it would be, but it was interesting because we dug this hole, put the hose down there, released the Blackwater, which is the sewage water, and for some reason all the dogs were really attracted to that area and wanted to roll around in that area. So that was disgusting. But yeah, that was something that I've experienced that it was just like, you know, it makes you a little bit more comfortable just with like not glamorous things in life. That definitely is not glamorous, but it's made me so much more just like, hey, whatever, like, it's human nature, have to go to the bathroom. I would say another thing that I've learned since living in this camper is you're not always gonna get what you want. Obviously, but with the shower, like in the hot water situation, like the hot water only lasts for, I don't even know, but not very long. So, and not to mention, I could never really get the water situation correct, because sometimes it would be, or most of the time, it's either like scorching hot, like I'm talking steam coming off of it, or it's not hot at all and it's cold. And so that's been like having to get used to just like, you don't just get like a comfortable shower. Like, it's just, you never fucking know. It's either like way too hot or way too cold. So that, also being in this bathroom, you have the sewage system, which is like underneath the camper, or I don't know where it is, but it's somewhere. It's not underground. So having like sometimes things like when it's time to release the Blackwater, the sewage water, sometimes it doesn't smell the best in the bathroom, and that's something that I just have had to get used to. It's all like, yeah, it's just like different things that like different luxuries that we have, or I don't have right now, but that we become accustomed to, like having a hot shower, having a ton of storage, just like have a full wardrobe, not having to release your sewage right outside of your home. I mean, like, just there's lots of things that like I've learned and gotten used to since living here that it's just like, it's crazy. And I'm so grateful for everything that I've learned, because I really, again, like, I feel like I say this, like, I feel like this is something that mostly everybody should do once in their life. Like, this really is, it's not necessarily that it's like a humbling experience. It's just like it really teaches you about being like cool with like the different changes and being cool with things not being perfect. And that we don't always get what we want. Like, this has just been like a huge life lesson, and I've enjoyed it so much. I think that something else that really came up for me was that I previously had always been somebody who like really needed people. Like, I needed my friends, I needed my family, I needed people to be able to like go to about like my life problems and all of that. And since living here in this camper, like, I've really embodied the fact that although my family is like really close by, I've really embodied the fact that like if I was having a bad day, or if like I was really excited about something, like there's not people really around. So, and I really like have kind of lost contact with the majority of like my friends. And so it's been really great because I've like really stepped into this just like being isolated, being alone, and it's just done a lot for me. It's made me realize that like I really don't need anybody to comfort me, to support me, to be happy for me. Like, I really can just do all of this on my own, like emotionally. And I've been in places in my life where like I needed the people around me to like help me get through. And now I just feel so like centered and grounded that like I really don't need anybody. Like, I feel like I can stand on my own 2 feet, and I don't really need friends or family to like, you know, pat me on the back along the way. Like, I got this. Like, and that's been really cool. Like, really being able to give myself like 3-4 months to like genuinely focus on me. Like, there's no distractions here. There's not going out on Friday night. There's not, oh, let me go have happy hour. I haven't been working at all. So like, I've literally spent the past 3 to 4 months focusing on meditating, reading, educating myself, working on my dreams, and just taking care of myself physically. Like, I'm so grateful that I've had no distractions at all, because this is exactly what I needed. I know when I was like, I know when I was in Thailand, some of my teachers were really urging me to basically take, you know, a year off or 6 months off from my life and just really focus on my healing. And they, like, in particular, the 3 different people that told me like, you're not going to regret pausing your life for a couple of months or a year. They all explained to me in their own different ways that it may seem like I'm pausing my life and I'm falling behind, but I'm actually like propelling myself so much more forward than I ever would have been, because I'm actually focusing on things that really matter. My mental health, my physical health, my dreams, and just pouring into myself. So they weren't wrong. This has been the most beneficial thing that I feel like I ever could have done. And I'm excited to get back into the world and, you know, have those next chapters. But this chapter was super amazing. It was definitely hard. A lot of times it was hard, like when it got wintertime and like if everything frozen here. It was hard when I, you know, got some really great news about like my vision, and I was crying and alone and I had nobody to like celebrate with. It's gotten hard, like especially the past couple of weeks. I've started to like kind of go crazy, like really go crazy about being so solo and so just like alone. It's just like I'm missing human interaction. Like, that is a human need, is social connection, and it's starting to get to me. So that's been hard. But I just know that like this is a chapter and it's about to be over and it's all good. So I've just learned so much since living in an RV on 22 acres, whatever it is. I've learned a lot, and I wanted to just make a video about everything that I've learned, because I know that some people are interested in this life. Some people would never do this, but they're still interested in why in the world I did this. So yeah, so here's a video about what I've learned, the good, the bad, the ugly, since living in an RV for the past 4 months.